What are the top 10 rides at Blackpool Pleasure Beach? Number 10. Starting off with a controversial one, we have Infusion. And for anyone currently thinking, if this is at 10, this list must be insane. Just wait. Cause at the same time, we have got some of the UK's biggest and best to come. What you cannot see from this incredible looking roller coaster is the pain you'll be in whilst flying around the layout at speeds of up to 50 miles per hour. Number 9. Therefore, if you are looking for something a bit more family friendly, then look no further than our next attraction, Nickelodeon Streak. Fun fact, this is one of 4 wooden roller coasters at the park. But do not let the family theme fool you, as out of all 4 of the Woodies, this one could possibly be the most intense. By watching, I think it is very clear to see why. The question is, would you take this on, or would you rather bring on its younger Nickelodeon sibling, Blue Streak? Number 8. Who here has ever wanted to fly their very own Red Arrow jet? Well, of course you have. And now you can do exactly that. This is Skyforce. And what makes this experience so different from the rest is that by using the levers situated on either side of your jet, you can control how often you go upside down. Number 7. Do you remember when I said earlier that there are 4 wooden roller coasters at Blackpool Pleasure Beach? I wasn't completely telling the truth, as our next coaster is not 1 but 2. Meaning only one thing, it is now time to turn your friends into frenemies, as this is going to be one exhilarating race. Quickly, comment down below, which team do you think will win this race, and let's see how many of you get it correct. Back onto the ride though, what I love so much about Grand National is that amongst its dueling aspect, this classic is jam-packed full of many a time hills and those wooden twists and turns. Number 6. When constructing our top 10 videos, there are many things we take into account. The fun, the thrills, the theming, etc. However, one thing we rarely find is the age. Until now, as our next attraction, Big Dipper, is so old that it is a Grade 2 listed building. Opening all the way back in 1923, the Big Dipper has been exciting guests for over 100 years, and therefore, despite it understandably feeling a little rough nowadays, for me anyway, a trip to Blackpool Pleasure Beach would be nowhere near complete without a ride on this classic. Number 5. Are you planning to visit Blackpool on one of those hot UK days? Well, if so, then there are 2 places you must visit. 1, the beach with an ice cream, and 2, the newly refurbished Valhalla water ride. Cause just like heading across the spooky Baltic Sea during the time of the Vikings, once you have boarded your very own Viking ship, and for the best experience, we would suggest anchoring the back of it. You will be met by many unearthly creatures, objects, and of course, some very large waves, getting all Vikings alike drenched. Just never underestimate the forces of the Valhalla, as along this 4-minute experience you will never know what is in store for you next, possibly another sea mystery or even a backwards drop. Number 4. If joining the UK Red Arrows was not so much a thing, then maybe joining the UK's national bobsleigh team would be. As similar to what we experienced before, only in a bobsleigh, you will race around an open track full of many twists and turns, leaving you all flying around the bends at speeds of up to 50 miles per hour. Number 3.
Please stand behind.
If our next ride had a catchphrase, it would be short but sweet, because whilst there is no more than 30 seconds of actual ride time, going through a loop both forwards and backwards is totally awesome. Number 2. If you are scared of heights, insane thrills, or simply dropping 205 foot in no time at all, then it's probably best to skip to number 1, as it is now time for the UK's most iconic roller coaster, the big one. And trust me when I say the name for this is no exaggeration, as in addition to its record-breaking height, the race down the Blackpool coastline will consist of more heart-pumping elements than I can count on my hands. Oh, and did I forget to mention, this is also the fastest ride at the park, with it reaching max speeds of 74 miles per hour. And number 1. Now, where do I begin when talking about this iconic attraction? It may not seem like a lot, with it being a lot smaller, slower, and not as long as our last contender, the big one. Yet as soon as you dare to take a ride, especially on Enzo, the spinning car at the back, you'll soon realize why it is at the number 1 spot.